Orale, Cholo Trucker Mas Movies and Shows. And here we got a nice special occasion here, man. I want to go ahead and talk about movies, but being behind the scenes in the movie industry. So I want to go ahead and get my hermano, my brother, man, who's all up in the movie scene, behind the scenes, I should say. Let's get in here. One, Mr. Big Joe Castro.
Hey, what's up, Carnal? How you doing?
Good,
man?
good. Big dog, how about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Been blessed, out here doing this thing, man. And thank you for bringing me into your show today, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate you.
Oh man, look, I mean, thank you, man. Look, you look all dressed and good to go. I'm out here in the hotel room, man, because I'm on the road trucking it up, man. And look at you, man. You get all Bonnarooed up, making me look bad. What's wrong with you, Holmes? Come on, Joe.
Man, even on your worst day, you look better than me, Holmes. What are you talking about? I know, yeah.
Hey, man.
Hey, don't forget. Hey, what's up, Artie Marin? What's up, Carnal? Yeah, don't forget, dog. Every time we get together, man, I see you out there all dressed up. It's all creased down, man. Zoot style. Hey, wearing your Pachuco outfit and everything. What's up, Big D? Yeah, but like we always running into each other at events, man. So you're always the nines, dog.
It's always fun, man. It's always fun. It's always fun running into you, big dog. And I just want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what's it like behind the scenes, especially in the independent movie industry, which seems to be dropping a lot of movies lately, man. And you're all over the scene. I don't know if people actually know this about you, but you got your hand dipped into a lot of projects, man. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere behind the scenes. But I guess I'll first start, Joe, with how did you get in to the industry of movies and cameras and all that good stuff?
Yeah, the way I got in, it was all God 100%, blessing me and blessing all the moves that I was making. He was the one that was showing favor in me. Because like I always say, man, I'm not special, but in his eyes I am. So, man, the way I got started, I got in contact with the actor Vince Romo, and we became friends. And through there, he took me on set a couple times. Then with Paul Morales, he took me on set. And it happened to be that it was the same people that Vince knew, Paul knew, but I didn't know all this, So they just started working from there, man. And being on set, they're like, hey, we need somebody for a scene. Are you down to do it? I go, yeah, I'm down. They go, hey, do you know anybody that has a lowrider? And I go, yeah. They go, well, we need a lowrider for a scene. And man, I got on the phone and boom, it just started like that. So I was like showing them, proving to them what I could do. And then that's when I was asked by Cedar Films after I was like getting him locations and cars and this and that. He's like, hey, you want to help us with Cholo Zombies? And then we had written it, me and Paul and Pete. We got together and we wrote the script for it. And man, just from there, man, I did a lot of projects like Kilroy, the movie Kilroy. I did
Mhm.
that one for free. I didn't get paid on that one. I figure if it was for God's word and it was to get a good message out there, I didn't want to charge for that. You know what I mean? And plus, it was me proving to them what I can do. So for the first 2 years, I didn't get paid nothing, man. I was just doing it like volunteer work just to prove myself, you
Mm.
know. And now I'm in it, man. Like honestly, I've been blessed, man, working with Cedar Films, more creative films, working with Chicano Hollywood, working with a lot of people I can't even really say right now because it's stuff behind the scenes, but making friendships with people like Martin Moreno, Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias,
Mm.
best boy, Martin. Yeah, man, we've been talking a lot, and I think we might be working together pretty soon in 2024. And just been blessed, man, blessed to make all these great contacts. And like I could sit here and name names, but I'll feel gosh or like missing people. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's been well, man, you've been to events where I've been, and I was blessed to be able to hook you up, some front of the line stuff and all that, So it's a blessing, man. It is.
Hey, you know what? Let me just go ahead and let everybody know right now, man. Joe is like the most popular guy that is not in front of the camera. He's the most popular guy, Holmes. We wherever we've gone, and I've ran into you, Joe. Everybody knows you, and not only does everybody know you, man. Everybody's happy to see you, homie. Everybody's happy to see you. Everybody treats you, with respect and everything. We ran into each other at the 30-year anniversary of Blood In Blood Out, right? The party.
Yes.
And Joe, you, yeah, like, everybody knew you. All the actors knew you. The Miklo, Crucito, Chivo, all these dudes knew you, man. And you were like, "Hey, come here, man. I'll introduce you." And it wasn't. It was cool, Hans, because they were excited to see you, Joe, which speaks volumes on who you are as a person, homie. It's not like they saw you and it's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Hey, what's up, man? All right. Oh, I'm kind of busy over here." They're just like, "Hey, Joe, what's up, man?" Handshake and hug, and it's like, "Oh man, like, know them, know them, know them." So it's it was definitely a blessing, man. I felt like a star, man, being beside you. It's like, hey, you know what? I know Big Joe, man, and Big Joe knows everybody here. So it was definitely cool, homie.
Yeah, it was a blessing, man, to be able to hook up you and your wife, and then a second chance,
Hmm.
and walk you guys to the front of the line to meet Damien Chapa, Miklo. That's a feeling to be able to have that kind of juice,
Yeah.
That morning, I had called his manager and I said, "Hey, man, are you going to be at the event?" And he's like, "Yeah, Damien will be there." I go, "No, but I'm asking, like, are you going to be there?" Because I haven't met him. I met
Mhm.
Damien and all that, and I've talked to his manager on the phone. But I go, "No, I want to know if you're going to be there, so that way I make sure I don't like forget not to see you, and at least be able to say hi or whatever in person." "Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
going to be there." "Okay, gracias." And I hung up. And like 2 minutes later, I got a phone call, and it was Damien Chapa, Miklo. He goes, "Hey, what's up, Joe?" I go, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" He goes, "Hey, that's Gasho, man." He goes, you talk to my manager, but you can't say hi to me." And I said,
Yeah.
"Man, it wasn't even like that." I go, "I'm just calling to see if he's gonna be there. I'm on my way to the event. I'm gonna see you. I just figure you're busy." He's like, "Nah, man, you can at least, say hi or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he's good people, man. Hey, what's up to my wife right there? What's up, boo?
Mhm.
Um, and the same thing with Danny De La Paz was there, even though he's not in Blood Out, but he was there too, selling his hats and stuff. Him, Big Puppet and Little Puppet were both there, and so was what's his name, Jesse Borrego, and like you said, Chivo and
Yeah.
Spider, like everybody was there, man, everybody,
Yeah.
and it was cool, man, like just to know them because like we all grew up watching those movies,
Mhm.
and now to be able to be able to say they're friends. You know what I mean? Like I could call them if I want or whatever, and it's just feeding me. It's just lets me know that I'm in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, man. And like I was saying, Joe, it speaks volumes on what kind of individual you are, because there was not one person, not one that's not the only venue or event I ran into you at. I ran into you in multiple venues, concerts, all this stuff. And I have not ran into one person that was like, oh man, like, nah, not that dude. Like everybody's always, gracious to see you, and it's just it's badass, man. It really is, man. I'm glad you're doing your thing. But can you remember you said Vince Romo took you on set. Can you remember what they were filming?
Yeah, they were filming a movie called Suicide by Cop. And
Okay.
yeah, and I remember I went on set, and I didn't meet the main producer, the one that owns everything, you know. And I
Mhm.
was just there, and I saw this older guy, and he was putting away the food after everybody ate, right? And I go, hey, let me help you out, because I wasn't doing nothing. He goes, no, it's okay. I go, no, let me help you. So I helped to put away the food. We cleaned up, and I go, let me just help this older vato, you know. And you know how we do it, man. We just like to help, be helpful.
Mhm.
So I sat down, and he sat down. He's like, hey, my name's Pete Bollinger, and he goes, and I own Cedar Films. This is my set. He goes, man, what's your name? I told him my name's Joe. I'm here with Vince. He goes, man, he goes, you're welcome to my set anytime, man. Like, I appreciate your help. And I go, no, of course, man. Like, the way I was raised to help, you know, help out people without expecting anything in return, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to know him. Well, then the next week I got invited to another set with Paul, with Big
Mhm.
Paul.
Mhm.
And when I got to the set, I saw everybody was from the last set was there at that filming. I go, what? And everybody's like, hey, what's up, Joe? Hey, what's up, Joe? And then Paul's like, hey, you know them? I go, I met them last week at another location. And he goes, yeah, it just happened to be the same people, the same movie, everything. So then everything just snowballed from there, you know. And so that's how I got to know them and get my foot in the door with them.
Okay. Okay. And so did you just kind of stumble across it, Joe, or was it in your plans to get into the movie industry?
No, you know what? Honestly, I grew up having that, like, man, ever since I was young, like having that desire to be in the movie industry. You know what I mean? Even if it was like making props or setting up sets, like a gaffer or whatever it took. Like I always thought, like, man, but then I never did it. Then I got married. Then it was about you got a family, you got a wife, then you start having kids. You got to support the family. You can't go and just start something new like that, you know. And because I didn't know anybody in the industry or anything like that, so I was like, I just gotta stay working, doing the work I did. You know what I mean? Being like you, being a truck driver, and
Mhm.
then all the way until 4 years ago when I got the opportunity, and now it's like, man, it's just been like phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like now I've been a part of about as a producer roughly about 8 movies, but I've been involved with about 15 or 16 different movies. And so yeah, it's really snowballed and really grown fast, you know, really fast.
Okay. Okay. Now people hear that term. They hear producer. But what does a producer actually do? You show up to set, and what does a producer actually do?
It really depends. If you're an executive producer, there's executive producer, then you have a producer, then you have a line producer. There's a lot of different. What I do is I get my executive producer credit, and I also get my master props maker because I make props. And but what I do is I get locations, I get actors, I get vehicles, whatever we need. I'm the go-to guy. Like I make everything happen. You know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
if it's background actors or main actors, whatever, I'll be part of the team that gets those people involved, or like getting a hold of whoever we're gonna use for the movie. So and then when it comes to props, I make props too. So I'll make like flamethrowers or C4 explosives or whatever they need. I'll make that too. So then I get props, master props credits for the movie too, casting credits. Like it varies, man. But luckily, man, I'm able to do everything. Yeah, I've been
Okay.
blessed with the ability to make things happen.
All right, Holmes. I just want to make sure if we're okay right here. When you say you make props, you go to somebody and they make it, or you know how to make all these bombs, Joe? What's going on here, homie? Now my mind is starting to think. I'm starting to wonder about you now, carnal.
no, I make the props, man. I make them, and they're just I made a C4 explosive with the timer, and either you could cut the wires and have the timer stop, or you could put the code in there or whatever. And so I make that stuff, man. So or I make flamethrowers, not functioning flamethrowers, but flamethrowers where they do the VFX. But like
Mhm.
this one I made, it's a World War II one, and if I was to buy this one, a functioning one, it's 30,000. But I was able to make. Let me show it to you. I have it right here. Let me show you.
All right, all right. Oh man, you know what? I don't know. We might have to start wondering about Big Joe Castro over here, dog. He can make some weapons, Holmes. Look at this. Weapons of mass destruction.
See, and all this I got online, and I just made it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has the hoses, the gun, everything that comes with it. But yeah, that's just
Nice.
one thing right there.
Nice. Nice. Hey man, you're not gonna want to mess with Big Joe Castro, dog. This guy's like MacGyver, Holmes. He's gonna make his own damn weapons, dog. So, you
And then
know.
this, here's the C4 explosive that I made for a movie. See, and it has the type. You can either put the code in, you can
Yeah.
clip the wires, yeah, and then it's just I just made it for the movie, man. And
Okay.
but it's not
Okay.
real. It's not real. Don't be calling the authorities, please.
Hey, that's what he's saying, man. I'm saying stay in Big Joe's good graces. Don't get on his bad side, man, because this guy kid.
I don't have a bad side, man. I don't have a bad side. It's all, man. I'm just a good guy, man. I
So, Joe, okay, man. So you've been a part of quite a few movies now, and being producer is just kind of like a snowball effect. You do one movie, next thing you know, you're getting a phone call, or are you going out and seeking the next job, the next movie?
no, honestly, man. Like, I don't want to come off as being arrogant or whatever, but they call me. I've never, thank God, I've never had to call and ask, hey, will you get me in this, whatever. Um, I've been called, hey, Joe, like we need help with this, and just man, just been blessed, man, to where people are calling me and asking me. You know what? Like a few of the things is like a year ago, about a year and a half ago, I got a Lampa Award from the Latin American Motion Picture Awards, and
Yes.
I got that, and I was able to get that at me, Danny Trejo, Pepe Serna, and Art Bonilla. So,
Mhm.
to go up there and receive this award and having them look at me, then at the end, we all took a picture together. I mean, that right there is priceless, man. I told my wife, if I quit acting and quit producing everything today, like that was that moment. You know what I mean? Just to be up there and accept an award with those gentlemen was an honor, was a big time honor. And then,
Okay.
yeah,
The roles that you've played, because you were actually in the movie Kilroy, just a small little part. I remember seeing
yeah.
you in there. Is that planned ahead of time, or is it just kind of like, hey, we just need somebody in there? Hey, Joe, man, can you just jump in here?
Well, being a producer, you're there on set, and if something was to happen where they need, like somebody doesn't show up or somebody is not killing it on the actual lines or whatever, and they need a
Mhm.
replacement, then they can use me or use whoever to jump in. Of course, somebody that has experience. We just don't use people that are just raw. But so I'm able to jump in on different. There's been a few movies where I'm not in the script. I'm just a producer, but then all of a sudden, they'll be like, hey, tomorrow we need you in this scene. And then bam, I just jump in.
Okay. Okay. I was in this movie, right? Last year. The movie hasn't came out yet. I don't think it has. No, I don't believe it has. And I get what you're saying, Joe, because I was in that scene. I don't have any lines. I'm just there in the background. And the person that had lines was just terrible, man. They were just bad. And I really, Joe, I really wanted to raise my hand and say, like, hey, let me do it. You don't need to pay me. That's cool. I'm not looking to get paid. That's fine. I'm here already. But I was just like, this guy's terrible, man. God bless him. Okay, God bless him, man. I don't mean any ill will towards the guy. God bless him, you know, but he was just bad, man. And I just kind of thought to myself, like, you know, I hope this is not what the movie turns out to be. I don't know all the other scenes in the movie, but I was just kind of like, I hope it's not like this, man, because this guy was just not getting it, man. He was just terrible. I really, really, really wanted just to raise my hand, Joe, and just be like, look, let me do it. That's cool. I'm here already. I don't need to get paid. I'm cool, man. But nonetheless, I didn't do that. I don't know, Joe. Have you ever raised your hand, or how many times have you seen when they're like, you know what, you're not cutting it, kid. Joe or somebody else, get in here. You know, how many times have you seen that, man?
I've seen that once where somebody wasn't getting it, and but they finished out the day. They did all the filming they were gonna do, so they reshot it a different day, and they used a different actor for that scene. And they wound up going with the new actor's dialogue because and they were, you know, it's funny because we were just talking about that. We were filming yesterday, and I was talking about how when you're gonna make a movie, when you're gonna put money into a project, when you're gonna put your passion into a project, when it's something that you really believe in, you cannot do it trying to do it to please your friends and trying to put your friends in the movie. If you want them as background or walking, you know, in the back, whatever. But when you're going to use actors and they're going to have lines, you want to get the best that you can, and you want to get people that are already like that already, you know, proved themselves in the industry. So, because you want the best product you can have, you know what I mean? You don't want to like have somebody come in there and be like, okay, guys, we gotta and be in there all stiff and not delivering the lines like they should, because that ruins your project. And why do it if it's gonna be that way? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Joe, can you learn? Is there some sort of natural ability? If somebody doesn't have natural ability, can they still become a, you know, box office hit if they go to acting school, or they're gonna need some sort of natural ability already in them?
No, no. That's the thing, man. Like, I've seen people that have never act before, and I've seen them read lines, and they're like phenomenal at what they do. You know, and the whole thing about going to acting school, it's really worth it, man. It's almost like going to therapy because you'll learn a lot about yourself, but then you learn a lot about, like, just real quick, in 30 seconds, I'll tell you this. When you're going to do a scene, you have to create your character. Now, they can give you lines and say, okay, you're going to play Joe and he's a gangster, and this is his name, this is his age, and this is how he dresses. Okay, okay, cool. But you have to create that character. Is he a goofy guy? Is he real serious all the time? You know what I mean? Like, does he have a limp? What was his background? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things. So when you're gonna do a scene, you have to know like what happened before that scene. You know, what happened to the character before that scene? Was he mad? Is he coming in mad because somebody got killed or his girlfriend or his wife left him? Like, what's the backstory that got you to the scene you're gonna do right now? You know, that way you can create something that's phenomenal. Like, that's what Tom Cruise does. That's what Brad Pitt does. That's what Emilio Rivera, Danny Trejo. That's what all these actors do. They create that character, like what Emilio did with the Mayans, with being the Padrino. He had to
Mm,
create the Padrino. He had to create that character, you know, and along with everybody else, they created their characters and who they were as that person, you know, and that's why a lot of actors don't get so deep into that character. You have to remember to break character and come back out of it and be yourself, not that character. You know what I mean?
okay, okay. So do you think? Okay, so because I know you went to acting school, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, did that help you?
a lot, a
Okay.
lot. If I thought like I was like 10% okay,
Mm,
by the time I was not done. I mean, I'm gonna go back, but I did it for a year. Um, and I wound up being like 80% better
okay.
than what I was just off of what I learned in that year, man. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. Then COVID
Okay.
hit and I stopped going, and then life hit, and then just been busy, you know, with the producing part. more than the acting.
Okay, okay. And so because I knew somebody who went to acting school, right? I didn't know them that well, but it just I just don't they didn't have that natural ability, man. And I was just kind of like, I didn't tell them, but I was just kind of like, man, you know what? I guess I would just kind of say, if you want to be a great singer, you're going to need to have a good voice already. And you're going to need coaching as well, right? To get that out of you. But if you don't have a good voice, if you're not blessed with a good voice, it doesn't matter how much coaching you get. I kind of see that a little bit with acting. I'm like, okay, man, dog, you just don't have that natural ability. And they kept going to acting school, going to acting school. And I was just like, man, dog, you don't have the charisma. You don't have that ability. I don't know what end up happening. I'm assuming they just kind of dropped it and let it go. But yeah, I was always wondering, what's acting school like, and what do you guys do? Is there a lot of improv? What goes on in acting school?
There's a lot of improv. There's a lot of like coming out of like who you are, like me and you, like me.
Hmm.
I'm older, so when I start going to class, I was going in there, man. It's we have that stigma, right? We have that where we're always like with our back against the wall, always watching what's going on around us, always like, I guess you would say like the macho, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But going to class, you can't go in there like that. Like my acting coach told me, he goes, you can come in here like that, Joe, but you're only defeating yourself. You're paying money to be here. So if you're not just gonna like take the most you can out of it and just drop all that macho stuff at the door and come in and just be Joe, then you're the one, you're robbing yourself from learning. And I thought about it. I go, it's true, man. Because all these other kids or all these other people in class, there was people like my age too, but most of them were youngsters. They were
Mhm.
getting the most out of it. So when they have you acting like you're a bear or you're a crow or you're something like that, when you're improving, they were getting the most out of their characters. Where I was just standing like, man, I ain't gonna do this, man. This is stupid. Like that. This is like like white people corny stuff. This is the Corny Collins show. I ain't gonna do this. But then I thought about it after he told me that. I go, man, I'm just robbing myself. So then
Mhm.
I started doing it. I
Mhm.
started getting into character, and I started like getting the most out of the class I could,
Mhm.
performing in front of like 30, 40 people in the classroom, doing your lines, doing your scenes. They're all watching, all eyes are on you, and you're doing your lines and you're doing the best you can do because you don't want to be a failure in front of everybody, so you have to come out of that shell, and be an actor, man, and do these lines and do all this stuff, so yeah, it's phenomenal, man. If you go to the right acting coach, then
Mhm.
it's all worth it. It's all worth it, and it'll make you a better you too.
Yeah, I agree. I think there is something. I think a lot of these classes can definitely help. M- maybe you don't get a career in it, but I think it does help you as a person. I agree with you, Joe. I agree with you. Uh, I would encourage anybody and everybody just to go take some sort of class like that. It's just gonna help you. I would say you kind of find out a little bit more about yourself. But Joe, going back to the independent film industry, where is the independent film industry right now, man? Where do you see it? Do you think it's bigger than it used to be? I mean, the independent scene was
Independent,
pretty,
yeah.
yeah, I
Before
mean,
the
it was pretty bad at one time, man. You had like some cheapy, just cheesy movies, man. But you got some movies out there, man, that are definitely worth watching, definitely worth spending your money. But they're on the independent scene, so they don't really get the exposure. Where's the independent scene right now?
man, that used to be that's the old process of things. People used to think that saying that you're an independent filmmaker or an indie filmmaker, it was like a four-letter word. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And people were like, he's just an independent man. Independent filmmakers right now are the top of the game. You know what I mean? They're at the top of the game. They're the ones that are selling their movies to Netflix and Hulu and all these other platforms.
mm,
So the wave right now of being an independent filmmaker is it's right there. It's where it needs to be at the top. And so anybody can make a movie. Obviously, if you come with some movie that's lame, they're not gonna want to put on their platforms. You know, there's a lot of things to putting a movie up. You got to use the right cameras, the right lighting, and they do a quality check. If you want to put something on, let's say Tubi or other platforms like that, there's a quality check that they do on the sound, on the quality of how it was shot, because you can't just shoot it with any camera. Like Netflix, they want you to use certain cameras, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, to be able to put it on their platforms because they want like the 8K, the 12K. They want the best quality cameras that's out there that's available, you know. And but there you don't always have to do that, but to get on the big platforms, that's what they want you to do. If you want to get it onto like 2B and platforms like that, they still have a quality control thing that they have, but it's not very hard to stay in those guidelines if that's what you want to do is make like a passion project or just make a short film or make a series. You know, you can do it. Like anybody can do it if they have the equipment and the connections. um and you can just do something and get it out there to be seen by the public and make some money off of it. You know,
How
back
does
in
one?
the day, you had to be a part of the big, you know, Paramount Studios or Universal
Right,
Pictures, or you had to be a part of them
right.
to have anything seen by anybody. Now it's not like that no more. Yeah, they have the big budgets to do like the big, you know, 100, 200, $300 million projects, but it's not exclusively for them anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, if if we're gonna push rewind and go back in the days, I mean, movies just went to the big screen, and then after that, they went to the video store. Now you got a lot of these platforms, Tubi, Pluto TV, Hulu, Netflix. I mean, so on and so forth. There's so many different platforms that are out there to where you can make a short film or make a movie. Heck, even YouTube. You could put it on YouTube and make some money. So, I mean, with all these different platforms, it's no longer like, hey, you know what, we gotta try to get this movie, into Paramount or into, Warner Brothers or whatever it may be. How Okay, so let's say Paul, I'm sorry, Joe. Let's say,
Oh man, call
I'm,
me Paul.
I'm sorry, man. I was just doing, I was just doing it live with Paul not too long ago, man. But shout outs to him. Um, let's say you want to go ahead.
Atole. OG style right there, dog. Atolejos. Right there. Yeah, go ahead.
So
Go ahead, Spencer.
okay, so let's say you go ahead, you make a movie. Okay, how do you get it to Tubi? How do you get it to Netflix? How do you get it to one of these streaming platforms? Who do you contact? What do you do, man? I mean, what's the movie that's there, or do you need to have that contact before you do the movie?
You gotta have the contact before. Well, you can make your own. You can make your movie, and then you can
Mm,
shop it. You know, you got to get a distributor to help you shop it to these platforms if you don't know anybody. But to get it onto like say Tubi or to get like on Chicano Hollywood, they have their own app too, where they have a lot of movies that are made by Chicanos or acted or in one way or another. The Raza was involved with making these films, so that's on the Chicano Hollywood app, which you just
mhm,
download it for free, and then you can watch the movies on there. But there is a way that you can get it onto those like the Roku and Tubi, like where you can watch them for free. There's a way to
mm.
get your movies on there, and you make money off of it, off the commercials and stuff like that. But you just have to like get a hold of them, and then they want you to upload it so that way they could do the quality check on it to see if they approve it or not. You know, to get put on their platforms. Because you got to
Mm,
remember, like even music, you can't just use anybody's music because there's copyrights. So
right.
there's a lot of copyright stuff that you have to stay in line with. You know, you can't just use anything. You know what I mean? You have to make sure you have everything signed off before they put it on their platforms.
See, I wrote a movie a few years back, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. We've been done with it. but I don't want to give up the movie. I want it to be what I set out for it to be, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to sell the movie and then they chop it up and it's not even the movie that I originally wrote. It's like, no, there's so many other ideas that I want to do for movies, but I'm not even really sure if I should get started on those without, really getting connected with this one. And it's been a few years, and I'm just kind of like, okay, man, I need the means to try to get this story out there, but I don't want to put in somebody else's hands because it's like, oh yeah, we'll buy the movie, but now they own the rights to it, and now the movie can get chopped up the however they want to. What do you recommend, Joe, for anybody who is in that position, man?
Well, if you have a movie and it's like your passion project or something, you don't want them to tweak it or to change things on it, then the only choice you have is to make it yourself or to find financing that somebody will be willing to finance you to make it under the stipulations that you're not going to change anything and they can't demand you to change anything on it. In other words,
Mm,
they'll fund it, but it's going to be as is. That you're going to film it and direct it as is, without making changes to it. But once you sell it, though, like say you had something that a studio or somebody bought from you, of course
mhm,
they're giving you cash, so they're going to be able to have the opportunity to change things around, change the storyline, change characters, stuff like that. So it's like the only two choices you have is to sell it, make money, and then make your another movie on your own, or and be okay with them changing things, or getting finance and you just making it yourself. That way you get it 100% how you want it out there.
right, right. Okay, okay,
Because
good to know.
having a project sitting in your drawer, if you really believe in it a lot, like you have passion for that project that you wrote, it sitting in your dresser drawer ain't doing you no good, ain't doing that story any good. So you
Mhm,
might as well get it out there one way or another,
mhm.
even if they tweak things in it. If somebody's like, if it's that interesting where they want it, they say, okay, well, as long as it's out there, or hey, I'll sell this to you, but I come on board as one of the directors, and I don't want to change that much. I don't want to, like a 10% leeway of changing things on it. And if they really love it that much, they'll take you on board under those stipulations.
Okay, okay, good to know, man. Good to know. There's a lot of writing I gotta do, but Joe, where is the gente in the movie industry? It seems like there's more and more getting involved. I like it. It's pretty freedom to see that. Where is the gente from your eyes being in the industry? Because once upon a time it was pretty much just like Danny Trejo and Emilio Rivera and maybe one or two other
Yeah.
out there, but
Benicio
where
del
where
Toro. Yeah.
yeah, where is the gente in the movie industry, man? It seems like there's getting, like I said, getting more involved. Where do you see where do you see this going?
My personal opinion, I
Hmm.
think we're the strongest that the movie industry has been in decades. We're a lot stronger than we've ever been right now in the industry. And honestly, I want to give thanks to like people like Emilio and Danny and Danny de la Paz and Carlos Carrasco, like all these actors and comedians, like all these people that were in the industry, and like Paul Rodriguez, all these pioneers that got in during, I guess what you would say like was the worst times, where there was a lot of racism or a lot of people looking down because they were Latinos, but they stayed on track, and then they made progress. And now that we have people like Johnny Murillo, which he runs Chicano Hollywood, and he's putting all of his passion, everything that he has, into moving us upward and onward in the industry. He's doing training day classes. He's doing elevate conferences. He has where people are coming from everywhere, Latinos, and they're coming in like actors, producers, directors, I mean, we did Elevate, and we had people from Netflix and Hulu, like the executives there. We had big producers and directors that showed up to meet people too, and that was a phenomenal event. You know, we had Edward James Olmos was there. He was one of the speakers. Emilio Rivera was one of the speakers. Louis Guzman was one of the speakers too. I mean, there was a lot of big names, A-list celebrities that were in there, and we all they also had big people that influencers from YouTube and Instagram that are Latinos that were there at the event, talking to people on how to become viral and how to get how to be influencer and making money in that category too. So man, they had entertainment lawyers that were there answering questions to actors and producers and directors, and it was just like a phenomenal event. I was just glad to be a part of it. I was glad to be able to me and Izzy from Rasa Rising on
Mhm.
Instagram. He was there too, and both of us volunteered also, and we were there. That we got to be the security detail for Edward James Olmos and Emilio and Louis Guzman. So we got to kick back and talk to them too at the same time, and just express our gratitude for them. Being the pioneers in the industry, because I can imagine what they went through, or how they were like projected or seen as, in those early days, but
Right.
yeah, but I see where everybody's like they're coming up, man. They're coming up. They're doing it. There's a lot of phenomenal Chicana actors and actresses that are on the scene now, and they're making their footprint. And I'm just glad to see it, man. Like I'm already older, so
Mhm.
I know a lot of this isn't for me, but I want to be able to help make change for the future, which is the youngsters coming up in the game, and a lot of filmmakers like the Ortega brothers, and there's a lot of them out there that are making films and doing projects right now that are just like Martin Scorsese style films. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And these guys are really making a difference. So, man, props to everybody that's in the industry right now that are just putting their neck out there, because not everybody wants to put their neck on the chopping block, and people get embarrassed or they're shy or they don't want to fail. But if you don't do nothing, you're already failing. So getting up off your sofa, and if that's what you want to do, then you're already a winner, man, no matter what, just by getting off the sofa and going and doing something about it. Whether it's the movie industry, or if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse, you want to work at Stater Brothers and bag groceries, whatever it is, if you want to do it, just get out there and do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I don't believe any job's better than anybody else's. I just feel like everybody has something that they want to do with their life that makes them feel full inside their heart.
Mhm.
And whether it's being an actor or being a busboy at a restaurant, hey,
Mhm.
as long as you do what you love, just do it.
Joe, are we gonna see a movie on the big screen sometime soon, or is it gonna be nothing but independent for the next few years before gente start making it to the big screen like that? Like, I remember Blood In Blood Out made it to the big screen. American Me made it to the big screen. Um, and again, some people have an issue with it. It's because they say like, "Oh man, why is there always got to be crime and stuff like that?" But at the same time, that's what you show interest in. But is there going to be a movie? How long do we see a movie that's going to be on the big screen, but that's funded very well, Joe? Do you see that in the near future?
Well, that has to do with the raza, with the Latinos. Look
Mhm.
at Blue Beetle. Blue
Oh
Beetle,
yeah.
George Lopez, and them. Like, man, it was all basically all Latino cast.
Yep.
And
Yes.
that movie was good, man. Really,
Mhm.
really good, really funny. George Lopez killed it with his character,
Mhm.
and to have a superhero Latino character, man, that's phenomenal. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of them out there, but also like what's the big screen nowadays? Because a lot of people like they'll go to the theaters. I do too still, but a lot
Mhm.
of people they watch movies at home because there's Tubi, there's Netflix, there's Hulu, there's Paramount, there's all these apps that even movies that are at the theater you can buy them at home now and watch them from the comfort of your living room. There are some movies that I prefer to go watch it at the theater because you got to have that big screen, you got to have that surround sound. There are some movies that demand um, that type of viewing. But then there's a lot of them that you can watch it from home on your 75-inch TV and just do it from home and be chilling right there. You don't have to spend $1,000 to go watch a movie, But yeah, so there's a lot of movies that are being released right now that are coming out on platforms that are like really good.
No, I agree with you, man. I don't go to the movie theater for every movie. There's got to be some sort of calling for me to go to the movie theater where I'm like, okay, this one I have to go to the movie theater to go watch it. To me, the experience of the movie theater will never die out as long as there's a movie out there calling me to go to the theater and watch it. There's other movies where I'm like, I want to watch that movie, but I'll wait. I'll wait till I'm able to watch it at home. So yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Joe, man, before we wrap it up, brother, what's coming up in 2024, man? What projects are you working on? You got your ear in the game. Is there anything big coming up in 2024 this time next year? Is there what kind of accomplishments, man, can we look forward to?
Yeah, man, we got a lot of things that we just finished wrapping up this year that we're going to be releasing for 2024. We got Road Cops Part One. That one's coming out. We're going to be having a private screening March 2nd and at the Frida Theater in Santa Ana. I
Mhm.
want you to come to that. It's on a Saturday.
I'll
Yeah,
be there.
yeah, come out to that one. We'll have some celebrities there too that are going to come
Hey,
out.
hey, real quick, there's a red carpet for that.
Yes, yes. Red,
Oh man, I've never been part of a red carpet, Holmes.
yeah, it's a red carpet event, and we had some celebrities that were in that movie. And plus, we're inviting some to come out to watch it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I want you to come out to that, man, as my guest. Um, we have that. Then we have Road Cops Part Two, and then we have right now on Amazon Video, you can see Tomorrow's Game with Paul Rodriguez. That was like a feel good movie. That's like Back to the Future meets Sandlot. It's a baseball
Hmm.
movie,
Hmm.
and you guys have a chance, check that one out. It's on Amazon Video called Tomorrow's Game with Paul Rodriguez. Um, we have another one coming out this year. It's already done. We're trying to find the platform to put it on. It's called Those Who Inherit the Earth, and that has to do with child abuse, and that's a powerful man. Very powerful. I play one of the like abusive boyfriends where we wind up killing one of the kids, and so my wife's like, "Man, I can't believe you took that playing that part." And I said, "Well, if I didn't do it, somebody has to do it, and somebody has to bring the attention to child abuse, that there is
Hmm.
child abuse that happens out there, like that Gabriel Fernandez kid that got killed,
Yeah.
and the,
Yeah.
the the system dropped the ball on him, and
Mm.
if who knows what could happen if they would have put more attention to that. So this is to bring attention, but it also has like a message to it. It has a Christian message to the whole movie, but it's you got to see the bad before you can see the good. And
Mhm.
so, man, the bad parts are bad, like real emotional type of a movie, man. So that one will be coming out this year. Like I said, it's already wrapped. It's already edited. It's ready to go. They're just trying to figure out which platform we're gonna release it on. And
Okay.
then, yeah, there's a lot of projects that are coming up this year. I'll be working with Manny Jimenez, Senior, on a movie. He gave me a part. Be working with Fabian Alomar. Uh, be working with there's a lot of actors or a lot of known actors in this movie that I'm going to be working on. And we did a table read for this particular movie. And
Mhm.
man, it was phenomenal just to be like sitting at the table with these guys, man, that are already vetted, already been in the industry for a lot of years, that are like at that level of acting, like the A list level. So yeah, they're gonna start working on that one coming up, and so there's a lot of projects, man, a lot that are gonna be released and that are gonna be made this year, 2024.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, I look forward to it, man. I'm excited. And, Joe, it's always a blessing talking to you, homie. It's always a blessing running into you, carnal. And, you've just been a blessing in my life, brother. I'm very blessed to have you in my life and being able to call you a friend, man. Just not because you got connections, but just the individual that you are. Just like I said in the earlier when we were talking, everybody that runs into you, man, they got nothing but great things to say about you, and I concur. But brother, any last words, man? Any shout outs? Anything that you want to say? Maybe there's some youngsters that want to get into acting. Maybe there's some old people that want to get into acting. Whatever it is, Carnal. Any last words? The floor is yours, brother.
Okay, I'm gonna say like if you guys want to get into the movie industry, like go out there and be an extra first before you get started. Make sure it's something you want to do because some people love it on day one, some people hate it because you'll wait on set 8 to 15 hours before you do a 5 minute scene, and then it might wind up getting cut and you won't even be in the movie or the TV show or whatever. But either way, like on those type of movies and TV shows, either way you get paid. But some people don't even like that because not that they don't like that, but they don't like just sitting around all day, waiting for their scene, But you always have to like sacrifice in the beginning to be able to earn your way into getting into the industry and really solidifying yourself in there. There's sacrifice you got to do, you know. But that's all I can recommend. Do an acting class, but try background first before you do that. And just to let you guys know, man, let's see. April 27th, Adelanto Stadium, we're doing another concert. Right now we have MC Magic and we have Little Rob and Jenny 69. That's going to be at the city of Adelanto. You can hit up my page. I'm going to have the link on there for tickets if you guys want to come out. We're going to have more people on the show, though. That's just the beginning of it. But we're selling tickets early this time. I'm going to get the word out there, have posters, be on different podcasts talking about that. So I'll be working with Nationwide Presents on that. And yeah, just a shout out to my family, man. Just my wife, my kids, to the homeboy Izzy with Rasa Rising. He's on here too on the comments. You guys go on Instagram, follow him. And especially a big shout out to my homeboy, my brother, Cholo Trucker right there, man. I appreciate you, dog. Like you said, it's much more than just a friendship. It's more of a brotherhood that we've created, man. Me, you, Sonny, Paul. Man, it's just feeding it. And every time I see you, man, it's like we just pick up like where we left off. You know what I mean? And it appreciate you big time, man. Big time.
M.A.S. movies and shows, Cholo Trucker, from my man, mi hermano, my brother, the man out there behind the scenes making it happen. One, Mr. Big Joe Castro. Catch you guys on next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.